Hello everyone, this is Baduk, and we're on our next 5Q game, it looks like. I have about 3 more wins before I can double rank up and get onto some 3Qs, so hopefully that will be fun here soon. I'm going to be playing Brandon, or Contraband Go, in like an hour, so hopefully this game doesn't take too long. Let's get this started. Looks like I am black, so let's try to see if he stays. Just going to use 2 4 points today. And I guess we'll do the 3-3 stuff for fun. I think from the stuff I've been seeing, I prefer to block the other way, like at D3. Ah, he's doing the double honey. I like this for me. But I like the other way a little bit more because it seems to break the board into smaller pieces. And that actually seems to be pretty helpful. Now, you don't have to do this right away, but I always like to just extend here right away. They're very likely to respond right now. And then I don't have to worry about it anymore. So we could do another 3-3. But I think one of the more simple ways to play is either the split or the approach here. So let's just approach. Ah, he's jumping here right away. You can push up here because they have liberty problem here. And this can't be cut without them giving up the corner. We'll see what happens though, see if they decide to cut. Okay. So now I'll turn here. And Atari here. So this was a mistake on their end. This is why this Joseki is perfectly fine. But now that I've captured this, these two stones are very, very bad. And he needs to extend one more time because this Atari is very painful. So I'm definitely taking the Atari right away. And I can squeeze the stones and get some outside here. So I think that will be very important to do. This makes my position very, very thick. So now I have two good options. One is to pressure this bottom group, which is already undercut by a very, very strong position, or to grow on the top left. I think if white tries to pincer here, I can jump out and attack it. So I think I will attack the bottom. It's usually good to attack a weak group first, if you can. Oh. I'm perfectly fine with extending up. This helps this side a lot. Ah. So we will play the normal attach here. And extend. This is something we've seen in a couple of these games. It might end up being Gote for me, but it's still a really good position. I'm going to have to learn that the normal one here one of these days. And I'm just going to connect solidly here. And now I can come over the top of this group and attack it. Because it's undercut. And I just keep surrounding it. And we want to probably play this move instead of backing off one more time. If we back off one more time, they can attach, or they can attach out in much better shape. But this one makes their shape a little bit more awkward. But this empty triangle means that we can just keep playing the knight's move to surround and attack. This one means I can just cut. This is too far. Is there anything in the corner that we have to worry about? If he cuts in the corner, it looks like it's just a ladder, right? So yeah, let's just cut the stone off and keep surrounding. We're not going to try to let him get out. We want to just keep surrounding. He still owes a move, so I will just connect solidly here. And, That one's a little bit questionable because my corner is fine. So I should actually try to punish this. So if he blocked from the other side, it's likely he would have potentially 2 eyes here. But he's going over here to try to pressure my corner. But if he goes to cut this and extends down, I should be able to have plenty of eye space here while threatening to attack these 2 stones. So we should jump in here instead. And just stay connected. Okay. So this is something you have to read out here. Can this throw in work, right? He throws in, you capture. He does this cover, and you need to connect. Then he Ataris, you connect. Then he connects here. It doesn't seem like there's anything there. So now would be a good time to fix any sort of weakness on the outside. So can they live if they try to play something else over here? It looks like they could. So the weakness here is either protecting this cutting point by connecting here, or preventing the cut from mattering by going down here. And I think this is the way that helps make sure this group is less alive. And protects the corner. We don't want him to live in the corner, so just reduce the eye space that he has. You could extend or Hane. I think either one should be fine. But I'm going to Hane to restrict his liberties a bit more. Because he wants to try to do something on this side. So to be extra safe, I'm able to just jump here. I could take a liberty, which could be a little bit better. Or I could play from this side. But I'm going to play a little bit more safe instead. So let's take a liberty away from white. Should make it a little bit harder for white to do anything over here. Let's just extend here. I will just push and then connect. So the reason I extended to T2 is because if I get this connection, I can connect up underneath. This is, I think you sort of always want to extend on the side that has the least amount of stones, I think. But I'm not exactly sure on that. This one, he wants to try to attack these 3 stones, but it's going to be very difficult. So just block, and I'm going to Atari this way. And then connect the stone here. This is threatening to capture these 2 stones in a ladder, which should work for me. And I guess just extending should be fine. If he cuts directly, it's a ladder. So we don't need to worry about that for now. And if he plays over here, we protect these stones. So we can just extend. And keep extending for now. Because he still has a liberty problem on this side. He can peep if he wants to, which is good shape. I'm not sure which one's better for me to play. I could just connect solidly. And not give him any extra moves, but I think I'll play this one, which is threatening to attack him a little bit more. I'm not sure what that one is doing. My group should really be fine, so I don't mind Haneing here to threaten him some more. See what he wants to do. This would help me get some eye shape and attack him at the same time. He probably should have jumped there instead of extending. Okay. Seems fine. This corner's just going to come all down to reading. But as I said before, I can connect up underneath, so it didn't seem to matter too much. But I do really like the way that he did try to fight back. He actually looked at really good weaknesses. Oh, and he resigned right away, too. Wow, he did a good job. Let's actually review this game a little bit. If you look at the beginning of the game, I'm not used to playing the 2-4-4 points, but I wanted to try it out here. It's something you should see pretty often. And this seems, to me, a little bit bad. But I don't really think it's a game-ending thing. But personally, I do prefer this as black, especially because, as you saw in the game, there's a lot of Aji still left here, which is why I like to make this exchange right now. If I did it later, he might have been able to fix the outside and make a strong outside position. But if I do it now, he's very likely to respond, because he doesn't have any extra moves on the outside yet. And so he tried to attack right away. And this is really what sort of ended the game for him, because he didn't realize that this sort of thing was possible. And if he has to protect, then I can go back and kill the corner, and I should be able to kill the corner first. Now, I may not have to do this Atari or this Hane right away. I might be able to just push here and make life on the other side. If I really want to, I could do this Atari and push and just live. It's a little bit sad. I would probably want to fight back more, but at the very minimum, right? So the corner is very likely dead in some way. So this cut is a little bit of an overplay. So in the game, I turned first, I believe. Yeah, because I don't want to do any Ataris and such. Like, it's bad to just Atari all the stones and force it in a very vulgar way. Sometimes it's better to turn first, because then he has to connect, and you can still extend out. Or even Hane to reduce the liberties on this side. And this makes it so that both sides are a little bit weaker, both white groups. He did realize that he probably should protect something, but I think that was actually the biggest mistake that he really made. And I think this may have been another game, but if you look at this, what I got right here, this is really, really, really strong, and it's probably like a pretty perfect shape, honestly. So these two stones are very, very unimportant. And so if you want to do something on this area, you should just like approach the corner and not worry about these two stones, right? If I pincer, you take the corner, and yes, I get some points on this bottom side, but you made a mistake, and this is too strong to really fight against this position. So you have to give something. And this actually seems pretty good for white, honestly, this sort of variation. Probably better for black to try to fight back a little bit, or even just back off. I would probably still Atari right away. But I think like this bottom side is not really that important anymore. So it's not necessarily good to play on this side, but maybe on the other side if you want to do approach here. And then the other thing, of course, is this extension is actually very, very important right now. Yes, this group is probably immortal and just extremely powerful. But if you have this extension here, then I can't surround the left side in any way. And this changes the whole dynamic of the game. Yes, there was a mistake that was made, but you fixed your shape, and now it's very difficult for black to do anything extra there. I probably get to have some benefit on the lower side or some benefit in the corner. But when stuff like this happens, you just have to calmly assess the situation as best you can and realize where the sort of the urgent point is still. As you saw in the game, when you defended here, I got this all in Sente. So I got to surround him here. Now this group is doubly as powerful as it was, and it was already very strong. Now I have two options here. I could jump here and just keep jumping, make this into a really large area, or even defend here now. It should be fine. Or I can attack this side, even before jumping, like I did in the game. If he just defends here, then I likely get to get both things, which is probably my right after getting so strong in this area. But it was actually really good for him to try to do something more. Now, he needs to, because he made this mistake, he needs to leave this group and just settle with it. So one way he could do that is by potentially attaching here. If I try to capture the stone, I guess there's those other ways. There's a push thing here. But if I do capture this stone, then maybe you've made some extra strength here. You could protect, or you could leave it and treat these stones lightly. Or if I back off, then you can do some sort of clamp thing here and then leave these stones again. You got to play really lightly if you can, because now white would want to do something else. But the other option, of course, is to stay calm and just let black sort of have the situation. Defend yourself. Then when black plays in the next spot, just defend. Take your points and defend. You need to wait for black to make a mistake. Those are the sort of two options here. If you're playing someone your own rank, it's very likely that they will eventually. So sometimes that's the better option to take. But this was a bit too much, because the same thing that happened over here is going to happen again here. And it doesn't even matter if this group is living or has a base or not. Because once I have these two very, very strong walls, even after this move, this group is not alive. And I can probably get something somewhere else on the board pretty easily. So it's better to... I personally think it's better to take the calm approach and defend yourself and wait for a chance. There's some shape things. I think they can attach here, but it's still sort of awkward for white. But this was too much. They already Tanuki'd the bottom group quite a few times, and then this was too much. So I get to cut that off as part of my profit, and then force them to live. But they lived in the wrong way, because they were trying to reduce or attack me, which makes sense, but they should have known that it was a bit too much, and they should probably defend solidly and make the two eyes directly. Apart from that, this was all just sort of a reading thing. Well, this was kind of a quick game, but I am going to go play Brandon now. It is our 4th Jubango match, and so hopefully I do pretty well. Maybe I'll make a review of it on Friday, depending on how it goes. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and have fun.